Ghostfence. Dagoth-Ur is winning because he is close to the source of power, Lorkhan's heart, and because he retains the passion of madness, while we have settled into the lonely and unrewarding posture of dogged dutifulness and perseverance. And finally, perhaps because he is stronger and smarter than we are, and his followers are more fervent and fanatical. I believe we were careless and complacent, and outwitted, and in the matter of denying the Nerevarine, we were foolish. In the past, the Tribunal made seasonal campaigns to Red Mountain. We slew Dagoth-Ur and his kin, though the heart always revived them in time. Later, when we realized we couldn't destroy them, we created the Ghostfence to contain the threat. Within the Ghostfence, rain never falls, and the sun never shines. The only weather is the red and deadly ash blight. These solutions were effective until Dagoth-Ur ambushed us and captured Sunder and Keening. Since that time, our fortunes have waned as his increased. That was the conversation between Lord Vivec and the Nerevarine about the danger posed by Dagoth-Ur, and the need for a shield-like wall surrounding the crater of Red Mountain to protect Vvardenfell from the Blight and Corpus monsters. In 2E882, Dagoth-Ur reawakened and bound himself to the heart of Lorkhan, the source of the Tribunal's power. He later ambushed the Tribunal during their annual ritual of bathing in the heart's power, driving them away and preventing them from restoring themselves with Kagranak's tools. The Tribunal launched intermittent campaigns against the fortress, seeking to force access to the heart chamber. While some of these campaigns were successful, and Dagoth-Ur and his kin were slain, the heart always revived them in time. When the Tribunal realized that they couldn't destroy him, they created the Ghostfence to contain the threat. It was constructed in a similar style to that of standard temple architecture. Its pillars were able to channel the holy energies of the Tribunal and the spirits of the deceased, converting them into a great impenetrable shield. They also erected the Ghost Gate so that they and others would have access to Red Mountain. They stationed ordinators of House Indoril and buoyant armigers to guard the gate. The Ghostfence was sustained by the Tribunal's combined powers. They also incorporated the bones of many Dunmeri ancestors into the Ghostfence. The bones of many heroes of the temple and of the houses Indoril and Redoran who dedicated their spirits to the temple were incorporated with solemn magic and ceremony into the Ghostfence. The fence also contains bones taken from the catacombs of Necrom and the many battlefields of Morrowind. The Tribunal's power was severely weakened in 3E417 after Dagoth-Ur managed to capture two of Kagranak's tools, Keening and Sunder. Without access to the heart of Lorkhan, combined with the increasing effort required to sustain the Ghostfence, all three tribunes became increasingly reclusive. Vivec had been a very public figure in Morrowind until this event. In 3E427, following the downfall of Dagoth-Ur, Red Mountain stopped spreading the Blight, and conditions in the Red Mountain area were much the same as the rest of Vvardenfell. The Ghostfence itself remained. However, the shield that it once produced became unnecessary and was deactivated.
What I felt was, the Ghostfence was Tribunal's temporary solution to contain Dagoth-Ur. They don't have a solution because the magic that powered Dagoth-Ur, the same magic that powered the Tribunal, right? The Heart of Lorkhan. Ultimately, it was stalemate with Dagoth-Ur having the home court advantage. It was formed in the year 2E882 when Dagoth-Ur and his Rash vampires awakened. That is way later than P582 when the game ESO is set. So essentially, if you go play ESO and explore Morrowind, you won't find Ghostfence. Is my assumption. I don't know. I've not played ESO. Interesting fact on the Ghostfence in this book. I read this book, Ancestors and Dunmer. Pretty interesting book. Here it says that it's the family's solemn duty to make sure the ancestors remains interred properly in the city of dead, such as Necrom. However, as a sign of a great honor and sacrifice, an ancestor may grant that part of his remains serve as part of the Ghostfence, protecting the clan, shrine, and family. Such an arrangement is often part of the family member's will that a knuckle bone shall be saved out of his remains, incorporated with solemn magic into the Ghostfence. So, in more exceptional cases, an entire skeleton or even a preserved corpse may be bound into the Ghostfence. I found that fascinating. That this book, Ancestors and Dunmer, pretty interesting. And finally, so how they lose their power? So the tribunals apparently are ambushed in 2E882, and by 3E417 they are severely weakened. So, because they also lose their Kagnite tools, and essentially, Tribunal were never able to recharge the divine powers from 2E882 to T417. That's a long time. So they were essentially gone by the time the Nerevarine arrives in Vardenfell, severely weakened, right? And apparently, this event led Sothasil to begin development of the mechanical heart. Pretty interesting. The last point I want to make is, when I was reading the conversation between Vivec and the Nerevarine, I think Lord Vivec must have been very happy to see the Nerevarine, because that must have given him some hope, right? It must have given him some hope to end the menace of Dagothor. But at the same time, if the Nerevarine would have succeeded, that would have released the heart of Lokan, that would have got rid of the divine power of Dagothor, but that would also sever the link of the Tribunal to the heart. So, and that would make them mortal once again. So, I don't know if Vivec have had huge conflict in his mind. Did Vivec actually make a mistake sending Nerevarine to get rid of Dagothor? To ponder. Fascinating, the lore of Ghostfence and the hundreds of years of backstory of this fence. I think it's pretty interesting. Alright, I had the references in the description, so you guys can take a look at it.